All right, so this lick is based on the A blues scale, but it's not played in the regular way, meaning that way, but it's the same notes, but it's arranged 3 notes per string, which will enable you to basically apply any type of 3 note per string sequence that you like. And in this particular instance, we're going to use a 7 note sequence. So first notes here, it's going to be quite stretchy. So let's just go through the first position. So we have the root, flat 3, and the 4. So that would be 5, 8, 10 on the low E string. And then we have the flat 5 on the A string. That's the E flat. And you have, that's the 6th fret, 7th fret, and 10th fret. So basically, the pinky will be on the 10th fret on both strings, but right. So 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. Then you simply repeat that in octaves. So you find the next A here, repeat the same shape, but everything is basically shifted up 2 frets. So we have 7, 10, 12, and then we have 8, 9, 12. So, and then we repeat it once more, an octave up. Only difference here is that because of the tuning between a G and B string, we need to compensate by moving up 1 extra fret. So where it was 2 frets up here, it's going to be 3 frets up to this octave. So, but other than that, it's exactly the same shape. So, all right. So that's the ascending part, or the ascending pattern. And the actual sequence we're going to apply here is a 7 note sequence, which is, you know, it's not that difficult to remember, because basically you start on the lowest note, go up to the highest note, back to the lowest, and then back up to the highest again. So you just go back, forward, back, and then forward again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, and we do a small variation up here that we'll get to soon. But in terms of practicing this, if it's really stretchy, you can move it up and work on it up there, because I don't think there's no reason to sit at a very stretchy position and then just repeat something over and over again. It's fine to play it, you know, a few times, but sitting there and doing hundreds of repetitions where it's like really stretchy, I wouldn't recommend that. So definitely start higher. And you can just repeat the first initial pattern. So you get used to that. Another thing to watch out for when you practice this is to make sure that the dynamics are the same, whether you play with legato or with the right hand. And in this case, you're only going to pick when you cross strings. So just be extra careful that you don't overpick when you go to the next string. So basically, if your legato dynamics is here and your right hand dynamics is here, it's going to sound uneven and kind of choppy. So you want to make sure to bring those down. So again, if we start from the beginning, so we just repeat this in all 3 octaves now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to shift up a half step and basically take us into the next position, which will lead into the tapped part of the lick. So basically at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and the frets here would be 12, 15, 17. And then you should tap here on 20. But we'll get to that soon. So when it comes to the picking here, you can get away with pretty much anything, because you have 7 notes before you need to change the next string. So even if you do this really fast, right, that's still like at this tempo, so with the right hand. So there's no big challenge here. But I would suggest that you experiment with, you know, you can try hybrid picking, you can try just downstrokes, just upstrokes. Just find something that you feel that you can really control the dynamics, because again, that's the key to getting this to sound smooth and legato. All right, so the tapped section then. First, the actual shape that we're going to be using. I'm going to start here on the 12th fret. So basically, it's just A minor pentatonic. So it's the blues note is not in this actual shape. And we're going to play 4 notes per string. So we got 3 notes in the left hand. Then you're going to tap this note. So basically, you have 12, 15, 17, 19. And if you, in terms of visualizing this, basically we're going to use the pinky and the tap note are going to be part of this normal day 1 pentatonic type of shape. So that should help you visualize this a bit easier. But again, 3 notes in the left hand, 1 note in the right hand. And now, of course, I can't go here because then, we won't get the full scale. So I'm going to go up here, because we have 1, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 7. Then we continue. But so that's the actual shapes. We have 12, 15, 17, 19, 12, 14, 17, 19, 12, 15, 17, 20. So in the actual lick, we're gonna come from this direction, right? We're gonna descend into the end of the lick. A practice tip here is to try to make sure that you synchronize the tap note with the next finger after the tap note. In this case, it's going to be the pinky the whole time. But it's a general thing that you can apply to any type of tapped lick to make sure that you have a finger behind the tap note all the time, and not doing this. Basically, if I have this and then don't wait with the finger, make sure that these come down at the same time, and that will really help you with the smoothness of the tapping technique. And also, once you get that, the other fingers tend to fall in line pretty easily. So again, that is fine to just break it down to smaller groups, and actually it's more than fine, and I really suggest that you do this if you're not really comfortable with this. So just repeating the E and the G string. And then the G and A string. And focusing on that index finger, the tap finger and the first finger after the tapped finger. If you connect these, slide there, and then I just go hammer, and then slide to, so hammer to 12 with my third finger, slide into 8 with my first finger on the low E string, and then slide into the root note here on the 5th fret. So it's pretty much all legato, except that note. All right, so if you connect everything at a slow tempo. So to sum it up, I would really suggest that you break this up in smaller sections, and I've actually done that in the Guitar Pro and PDF. And if you want that, you can just pop over to my Patreon and download that. But if you don't want to, become a patron, whatever, that's totally fine. You should get what you need from this video alone. But just make sure that you divide it up in smaller sections, basically. So you don't have all these notes to think about, because it's really hard to see what went wrong if you have a ton of notes to sort of keep track of. So, but if you can divide it into like, okay, I have this, that's much easier to play, and then see what went wrong and fix whatever went wrong, instead of playing the whole thing and then screwing it up, and then you have to like, all right, what actually went wrong here? It's just way harder to keep all that stuff in our kind of limited short-term memory. And once you can do these big, smaller groups, you just combine them to bigger groups, because then that smaller group will feel like one piece of information. Whereas now when you learn it, it feels like a lot of small individual pieces. So that's the best way I've found to learn specific licks like this, to basically break it down and then build it back up again. So if you like this video, please leave a comment below, and also leave a comment if you have any suggestions on upcoming videos, if there's anything specific you want me to cover here on YouTube. And like I said, if you want tabs and stuff like that, you can just go to Patreon, and also on my Patreon you have a ton of other lessons available.